Hello everybody and welcome to Vicky, Pattison, The Secret To. This week I am joined by reality stars, Gogglebox faves and TikTok sensations. It's George and Joe Bags, everybody. Woo!
Hello.
Hi lads, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm all right. I feel like I don't do an awful lot of these as like, no, not podcasts. I do fucking loads of them. But I don't do loads like with two people because I used to get so nervous. I think like, can I handle two fellas at once? Like, I just don't know. But you must be used to doing interviews and everything together, are you?
Yeah, and we're not scary either.
No,
like,
we
you're
aren't.
nothing to worry about. Don't worry. You might be able to handle George and everything, but I'm all right.
No, but like you must have a bit of a. Have you got like a routine? Do you know who goes first, who goes second, or do you just free for all?
Yeah, I normally
it's because he doesn't trust what I say. So if I follow, I'm like, oh yeah, like that, yeah.
Basically like that.
Otherwise, I'll be like, fuck it. Do you know what I mean?
George has a supporter halfway through talking, like he just starts effing and blinding and all this stuff.
Well, feel free to be yourself on this podcast.
Come on, do myself.
That much.
Out nowhere.
No, I love it. Give me all of that. So, lads, you obviously burst on our screens with Gogglebox was the first, right?
Yeah, so Gogglebox was like the first bit of like TV properly that we did. And we got that from making TikToks over lockdown, which was quite cool. So
the TikTok actually came first.
Yeah. Everyone else is like the chicken and the egg. It's like what came first, TikTok or the Gogglebox.
But I love that because it means that you made some account for yourselves, really, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly. So we basically was just like messing around during lockdown, and then
it just kind of blew up.
And then after like 100,000 like followers on TikTok, that's when the people at Channel 4 reached out. Because of lockdown, they couldn't do their like normal thing. They had to like, go on TikTok to like look for people. So it was like really lucky it all kind of like came together.
We didn't believe it at the start though. So Joe got this text from this woman, or like a DM, and we were like, it came down, we were all sitting there, and was like, I've got this message from someone at Channel 4, and we were like, shut up.
I was like, it's fake. I need to research. I was sat on my computer like that.
We were like, go upstairs, don't worry about like it's a load of shit, blah blah blah. All of a sudden it comes down and he's like shaking, like, look at her on Google. I'm like, oh, it's real. Do you know what I mean? We're like, oh no way.
Oh, bless it. I absolutely love Gogglebox, you know, and now they're doing a celebrity one. Like, I've got a documentary coming out with Channel 4, and I'm always like, fucking hell, this is it. This is me waiting. I think I'm going to get on the Gogglebox now because I think it looks like so much fun. Did you love it?
No, it was good.
It's like from start to finish, like the whole fact that we got to like, sit like amongst ourselves, like with the family, and just like have a laugh like every week. Like, because I moved out as well, so by the end, it was really nice for me to go back and be able to spend that time with the family, like eat a takeaway and just like relax, you know what I mean? It was really, really nice. So we did have a laugh. Like there's probably so much unseen stuff of us just having like a proper like belly laugh.
We probably wouldn't be allowed to go on TV, but it was, you know what I mean?
Bless you, some of the like outtakes. But then, right, I heard, because we've had some people on from Gogglebox before, I heard there's like, so tell me if this is true, different levels that they like sort of pay the people. Like I heard it all kicked off because some people found out that they were some other like houses were getting paid, some people were just getting the like electricity paid for, and then I found out that some people were just getting like their snacks paid for, like the fucking Bombay mix and the nuts, and everybody went mad.
We have genuinely no idea, right?
Very diplomatic.
Like we saw that stuff, like, you know, in the newspapers when families leave, and I feel like everyone says a different thing, and we were just sat there like, do you know what? I'm just happy to eat my takeaway. Do you know what I mean? And have a laugh. But no, they genuinely they don't disclose anything. I guess you can't, can you? Do you know what I mean? Because then it gets a bit messy. And at the end of the day, like I think the whole premise of it, you're just having a laugh from watching telly, aren't you? At the end of the day. And I think that if it borders over to like reality TV, do you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? You don't really want to have that sort of dynamic. But yeah, we had Domino's every week and just enjoyed that. I put on a ton of weight doing it, honestly.
Oh, well, I put on loads of weight in lockdown as well. And if then someone said to me, fuck Mel, I'm going to pay you in pizza to watch the telly, I'd be the size of a house and I wouldn't be arsed.
Take my money.
Do I pay you? How does this work?
I know that was the dangerous thing. Like, lockdown was hard enough as it is, wasn't it? And then when they're like, oh, like, just sit down, order a takeaway and watch telly, you're like, oh, this is not looking good. Like, it was not.
But then at least, you know, we were kind of all in it together, because I felt like I was speaking to all my mates and all the group chats, and like all my pals, like most of them have got kids, and it was just like them fucking clock watching until when it was appropriate for them to have a drink and that. Like, is anyone having a gin?
Yeah, everyone who was like, yeah, I've been doing a 5K every day was chatting shit. Oh, yeah, I'm doing a 5K, who's done their steps? Shut up. No one was doing that. We were all just sitting at home.
It was so hard. And I was still working. The hardest thing, all my friends had been furloughed. And I worked in recruitment at the time, and I was still doing it. And you know, like, who is recruiting during a global pandemic? Every phone call was like, no. So there were days when I was literally in the garden sunbathing, laptop on my lap, literally headphones in, people going, no. It was like, next. Just laying there. It's like, Mum, can I have a gin, please? At like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It was just something else, wasn't it? Something else.
It's mad. Like, you know, I haven't spoke about the pandemic in so long, but we've had loads of records this week and it's been brought up loads. And I think there's been enough distance from ourselves and like lockdown and everything where everyone's starting to romanticize it a little bit.
I know.
But almost like a little bit fondly, like, of course, terrible for the country. Everybody lost people that they loved. It was so difficult. But in terms of like taking your foot off the gas and having some time with your family, there were some nice moments.
I think that was
and things like that.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's bittersweet.
Yeah, it was bittersweet because it obviously stopped so much. And like, obviously George and I lost like a couple of years out of my 20s. You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, it's like it did let you like spend time with family and like
it's brought us this opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. And I was actually closer with mates and stuff during the lockdown because you just call every day, be like, what are you doing? If it's the same thing, like just nothing. Yeah. You'd be like, quizzes that I did online.
Oh,
I loved it.
We did, honestly. And you know, it's so crazy because as a group of girls, like in your mid-30s, like it's dead hard to get together, especially like we're scattered all over the country now. Like everybody's got kids and partners, fiancés, dogs, husbands, the lot, right? So the only time we really get together is either birthdays or Christmases or kids' birthdays now. And even then, you never get the full squad. Exactly. Like, you know how mad it was for all to just rock up on a Wednesday night and get pissed and do a murder mystery, like through lockdown, like all in, like I was wearing like little wigs, like we had so much fun. And
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it was nice, but I mean, don't get me wrong, there was loads of difficult times too. So
yeah.
Best left in the past.
Positives out of it. Do you know what I mean? Definitely like looking back, because we've been so busy like recently. Some days we later think, oh, it'd be nice to have another lockdown for a couple of weeks.
Bless you, but you've been absolutely chocker. And I suppose it's a true testament to the fact that you've made the right decision to leave Gogglebox. Like, was it nerve-wracking? Like, was there ever a moment where you're like, fuck me, this is a big show on a big channel and we're leaving? Or did you just know it was the right moment for you?
It was really hard, like, especially when it's a family dynamic, like we've got mum and dad involved, and it's a show that we loved, and like
we'd always dreamed of being on.
Yeah, like growing up, I think everyone does really. You sit there and you're like, oh, imagine being on Gogglebox, like that's so fun. And then it just got to the point where I think we were getting so many opportunities coming up that just didn't align with Gogglebox. Yeah. And it was like, as I just said, like, you know, we've lost a lot of time.
We're still so young as well.
Yeah, like out of my 20s, George in his teens and stuff. And we can't.
Fuck off, George. How old are you?
19.
Oh, I'm sorry. This podcast is over. I was okay with having people who were about 10 years younger than me on the podcast. You are probably about 16 years younger than me. I could be your mum.
In a high chair right now.
Oh.
I'm strapped into the chair at a minute.
Well, George, you're actually very mature.
Thank you.
You are.
Sorry,
carry on.
No, it's all right. So yeah, basically, like we just decided that as hard as it was, like to make the decision to leave, and like you're like a big family when you're on it, like you know what I mean, like you get to know all the team and everyone at Channel 4, and they're also lovely, but at the same time it was like, you know, we've got to kind of also think about like our futures and also what we love doing. Like we love to create content and do what we do online. Like we now do it full time, and for me it's like I love it. Every day I wake up and I love doing it.
It's like different,
and it's such a dream, and it's something that I've always wanted to do, and lockdown kind of really like reset that for me. Like as you said, like took your foot off the gas and thought, what do I actually want to do? So yeah, like although it was hard, I think that you know, it's going really well, and I think the coming months are really exciting. So we'll have to wait and see.
I think it was for the best sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like I think we did make the right decision. There was times where we sat there and we thought like, this is like, we all sat together and we thought, is this the right thing to do?
Yeah.
Because like, as Joe said, we dreamt of being on it. Like you see all the comments, everyone loves Gogglebox, always buzzing for 9 o'clock Friday. Do you know what I mean? Blah blah blah. But I do think, honestly, it was definitely the right decision.
Yeah, and you know, like I was just thinking there, chatting to you lads, like he's got loads of personality, loads of charisma. Like I feel like there's been loads of people who've used Gogglebox as kind of like a springboard onto more, haven't there? And like you've got your Scarlett Moffats, like who else? I'm trying to think of them women who were on it, who always used to get the takeaways.
Yeah.
And who else was her name?
Yeah.
Oh, they absolutely classed, but they were on absolutely everything. I think one of them went on Big Brother. Like there is probably so much he could be doing as well, isn't there?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like it's so exciting, and you know, we never thought that we'd be on TV. Like to do that, and then in parallel have opportunities from TikTok and stuff like that. It's just so amazing and so fun to do. And I just thought that it was the right time, and I think that it's going really well.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed it continues, hey?
I've got everything crossed for you guys.
You get, I don't know whether you've had it, but I get it really bad. Like sometimes you sit there and you're like, oh my God, like 2 years ago, this, like, I couldn't have even dreamed of this. And you go to an event and someone's like, oh, like, can I chat to you? And it's like,
shall I have a beer?
yeah. And you're like, what? Do you know what I mean? It's really strange feeling sometimes.
Oh, no, honestly, lads, these are probably living a very different life to how mine was when I started. Nobody wanted to talk to us.
They're like, not Vicky.
They were like, who the fuck let them from Geordie Shore in?
Oh, it's so funny.
Like,
oh, but
like,
no.
3 o'clock, you're like, all right, everyone.
No, I honestly do get it. Like, it is such a lovely and exciting industry to be in. And I always feel dead grateful. I'm going on like 12 years now. I've been lucky enough to like work and sort of parlay a little stint on reality TV and all the other things I've done. So now I get where you're coming from, lads. And if you keep that lovely, grateful, really high energy approach, like you'll definitely have lovely long careers, because that's what it's about, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, like that's what ultimately like what we want now, is to just continue like doing what we really enjoy, and obviously like if it entertains people, then like amazing.
Because we said we love Gogglebox and stuff, but there's only almost like so much you can go. You're just sitting there watching TV, which is great, but we just feel like we're not them sort of people.
I feel like also we have so much to offer in terms of personality that no one really saw.
Yeah.
People loved on TikTok, and people would always comment on TikTok and be like, why aren't you like this on Gogglebox? So it's kind of nice for us to rebrand now and be like, no, like we don't just want to be like known as the Goggleboxes. Like we actually have a lot to offer, which like we're hopefully going to show everyone.
No, but you will. You're totally going to get that opportunity now. Right. And I feel like you're so desperate to get off Gogglebox in terms of a topic here. But I've got a couple more questions, I swear. And we'll talk about everything else. Is there ever, when you're sitting down, right? Because I'm really fussy. Like here's me going, oh, I'd absolutely love to be on Gogglebox. But if they put something on I don't want to watch, I'll throw all my toys out the pram. No. Like I specifically like murder documentaries or like Friends. That's literally it. Is there ever anything that they put on for you to watch and you think, fuck this?
It was always the news. It was just our newsy people, and yeah, it was just really hard to watch the news, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were like, so the next segment, guys, is Boris Johnson chatting shit, and we're like, the news.
Yeah.
Honestly, lads, I feel exactly the same way. I've just done Tipping Point with Ben Shepherd, and not to like, no spoilers for anybody here if there's big Tipping Point fans listening. But one of the questions was about Boris Johnson. I was just like, pass.
Yeah.
Fucking pass. I'm obviously showing my ignorance here, but I'd loved it. My producer is so political. She loves it all. But I'm like, it gets on me tits.
I think like a few months into lockdown, I just stopped watching it because it just really like bummed me out.
Oh, it was such a bummer, mate. There was never any good news, was there?
And it was all the time. And there's actually a segment on Gogglebox of they put the news on, and I literally went, "Oh, fuck off!" And they put it in, and I was like, "Great." And that was me.
But you said what everybody must have been thinking too.
I was just like, you know what? Not again.
Well, no, it used to be like, oh, so there's some news and we give it a chance to begin with. And then they're like, now it's like Stephen with Boris Johnson. And we'd be like,
I'll be slamming my head against the sofa. Like,
yeah.
So that was probably the only thing, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, to be fair, the rest of it, like, it was just different every week what they showed us and stuff. So we quite liked it.
Yeah.
So was there ever anything then that you were like, oh my God, I'm so happy this has come on because I've got loads of things to say about this?
Telling Sunset.
Yes, I mean, come on. Oh, do you know we had Mary from Selling Sunset on this?
Do you?
Yeah, she was so nice. She was almost, so I feel like this is where British people and Americans differ. Yeah. I would like ask you about someone and you'd be like, I think you guys would be really nice and diplomatic, but you'd also be like, yeah, he's a bit of a knob. But when I asked Mary, she was so like wonderfully media trained and American and nice and all the rest of it. She's like, you know, it's a show, like we're all playing our characters. And I was like, Mary, I want the teammate.
Is she a bitch?
Is she as much of a bitch as she seems? Slag her off.
Yeah. No, 100%. I always get that vibe. Like even when I watched like This Morning and stuff, they had Christine on, and I could tell that they were really digging to like catch her out. And she's my favorite. I know it's very toxic of me to say, but she's my favorite on there. And so when I was watching them trying to dig her out, I was like sat at the TV going, no. I'm like, don't let her fall. And she was well trained. She was just like, yeah, you know, like I back myself, you know, having sugar daddies and stuff. And I was like, good for you. Good for you.
That's what she was saying. She doesn't give a fuck.
She's got a book coming out. I'm gonna read it.
He hasn't read a book in about
and I do not read.
He does not read.
I don't know. Audio book?
You sound like Erkan. Like I've obviously got a book out. It's called The Secret of Happy. It did like really well. I was dead proud of it. Fucking had loads of lovely messages from people that don't know us. Erkan has taken it on 3 holidays and is yet to open a page.
It is hard to start a book because then you can finish it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I mean the difficulties in your life, Joe.
I know, just to read.
Yeah, just swipe the first page.
I know, it is hard.
But you've said before, so Gogglebox as a chapter for you guys is over, and I respect that and support it. What is next? Like, is there another reality show that you're absolutely buzzing to do? Because obviously Scarlett did The Jungle. You got Tommy who was on. He did that. He's done loads. He's done Coach Trip, all sorts. What have you got a burning desire to do, lads?
I mean, I think that George would be good on like any form of like dating show because he is so terrible with women. Yeah. I'm not digging him out.
Oh, but tell me how you really feel, Joe.
No, you caught me out there.
I think this is the first time I've seen you like a bit nervous. Right? Are you looking for a bird?
Yeah. The honest thing is, anything with a pulse. No, the thing is though, I said it to Joe, like our line of work now is just really weird, and we're so always here, there, and everywhere. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be like, like come into my life and then I don't see him for like 3 weeks. Do you know what I mean? It's just them, but I just think whatever happens, happens.
Absolutely, and I think that's quite a nice approach to have. But you know, and I'm not wishing your life away either, but because obviously I'm fucking loads older than you, Jesus Christ, we've established that, Vicky. When you meet the right one, like they don't mind that they're traveling and they're going all over the place. In fact, they are excited for you and they support it and stuff. So don't let that put you off if you're looking for someone, Dave.
No, I am a hopeless romantic. And he laughs when I say that, but I've just got no clue.
I think it's more on the hopeless side, to be fair.
Thanks.
Heavy on the hopeless.
Spectrum.
My number one supporter over
No, do you know what? I back at the time, you know it. I'm just trying to help it. That's why I just said I think on a dating show you'd be good.
Oh, so a little bit of celebs go dating or something.
Anything like that. It would be banging.
what are you looking for in a lass? Because honestly, I think something like 99.9% of our listeners of Vicky Pattison Secret 2 are in fact females. So this is your target audience, babe.
Nice boobs, nice bum, anything with a pulse. Bam.
Oh, great. So he's sensitive, is he, Joe?
I'm just sat here like that was not the approach.
Oh, no, no.
We've spoken about many times. That's not the approach.
What do you want him to find?
Feelings. He needs a nice,
I think
nice
someone to calm me
girl.
down.
I think she needs to be a bit level-headed.
Yeah.
I think because you're so hyperactive all the time, I think it'd be good to get someone that's a bit like, let's go and lay in a hammock and read a book. Or let's go
This is
you know
why
what I
I don't
mean?
know
For long walks with a dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not
So
like, let's go out drinking and you know what I mean?
Shagging.
Yeah.
So you're thinking like essentially someone to balance him out, the yin to his yang.
Exactly.
Yeah, no,
I think that'd be good.
I probably do need someone
Opposites
like that.
attract, don't they?
Exactly.
Yeah, Erkan's a very calming influence on me. I'm obviously not looking for great boobs and a bum, but I was definitely looking for like a lovely bit of kit and someone who loved to go out and drink and party. And I'd been doing that for years. And then I found Erkan, and not that he doesn't love a drink and a good time. He's such a great fella, but he's very much a homebody, and he's brought out loads of that in me. And actually, I found it's brought us loads of contentment. But again, you're probably got about 10 more years of fun and going out before you look for someone.
Yeah,
Oh.
you know, it'll come, won't it?
Yeah, hopefully.
Normally when you least expect it as well, like when you're not looking, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it is. And I think just do you go and have loads of fun this summer, George. Get yourself away to Malia or wherever the kids are going now. Fucking swing your dick about, kid. No judgment here. What about you, Joe? Like, is there any shows that you've got like a burning desire to do? Like, honestly, lads, I feel like you're so great. I could pop you in anything and I'd watch it.
Do you know what? Like, I'm down 100% for like anything. I kind of I'm scared of everything, right? Like, even like a pigeon flies past me and I'll be screaming like so I'm just like anything to maybe like show people what I'm actually like. Do you know what I mean? Because I come across, especially on like Instagram and stuff, you kind of get into this rhythm of being very like put together because you feel like you have to be. And it'd just be nice to maybe show people. Like I'd love like a Big Brother style thing because that like is the dream. I love that.
I want that to come back so much.
Yeah. That type of thing. Like, yeah, like every single day, like someone watching you, just the chaos of what it's actually like. But yeah, like I think anything.
There's just so many shows, isn't there? Like,
oh my god, I'd love to like coach trip. How naff is that? But I would love it. Like that's a dream.
Excuse me, coach trip veteran over here. I've done it, but you're being hard pushed to find a reality show I haven't fucking done. She's getting on. Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what? It was so much fun. I did it with Scott Thomas, my pal, off Love Island. And like, I will say this before like we wrap up part one, I thought I was going on an absolute jolly. Like I've done quite fun shows, you know, things like The Jungle. And then I've done like ones where you learn a skill, MasterChef, tough ones, fucking SAS, all of them. And I thought out of all of these, fucking coach trip was going to be an absolute lol.
Yeah.
Fucking getting up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to make sure you are ready to go somewhere for all the activities they've got planned. Heaven forbid you try and have a nap on that coach. A producer comes and wakes you up. Honestly, lads, it's fun, but it's tough going.
God, it sounds like The Apprentice. Yeah. Like get an alarm going off. You got to get out, get ready in an hour. You know?
Wake up or you're fired.
Bloody hell. I mean, yeah, no, it sounds quite intense, but it sounds like fun.
Like
I feel like that environment would be really fun because that's the type of TV that we've grown up watching so much reality TV. Like that is what we like as a household. So to be able to do.
I just thought could you do Love Island though? You're probably too famous to do Love Island, aren't you, George?
We've been debating this, watching it every single night, and I'm like, could George go? Wasn't there someone that went in that had a bit of a profile before?
Well, like people like Molly May and that, she had like 100k followers on YouTube and stuff. I just don't know how it worked with like me or like.
I'd love him to go in. I'm not going. I'm a raging homosexual. There's no way I'm going in there. Do you know what I mean?
I just slipped my mind.
What am I going to do?
Slipped my mind.
Honestly, I bet some of them would love it. Do you know, honestly, when you say that though, so me and Erkan got together and they'd approached him for Love Island the year before we got together. I don't know how many people know this actually. Anyway, he was dead honest with me about it all. You know, I got speaking to him on Instagram. I thought he was a builder. He worked on a building site, so I was like, "Fucking yes, I'm going out with like average Joe."
And training.
Get your high vis on, son, and shaggers. I honestly thought I was going to be going out with like really lovely, normal man with a nice job and all this. Anyway, I was chatting to me Pete about it, Pete Wicks, and he was like, I showed him the picture, and he was like, "He's been on Towie, Vicky," and I was like, "No." He hasn't mentioned that to me. He's like, "He's been on Towie and he's shorter than me." I was like, "Fuck off." No one's shorter than you, see. So anyway, I obviously went and met Erkan. And like, I'm so pleased I did, because we're engaged, he's the best. But yeah, he had been on Towie, and we sort of got talking. He was like, "Yeah, I wasn't on for very long." But then they kind of approached me for Love Island after. And I was like, "Oh, right, okay. So what happened?" He was like, "Oh, they just went in a different direction, you know." And I was like, "Oh, that happens." Yeah. Anyway, then this story came out in the press, because people found out we were dating. And they were basically in the press, they said that he was only going out with me to raise his profile, so Love Island producers wanted him this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, can you believe that? So my agent rings me and she's like, "Fucking dump him right now. He's raising his profile." I was like, "Oh my God." So I went and asked him, and he was like, "Obviously not, Vicky. I quite like you. That's not why I'm going out here."
I'm told if you just go up to him and be like, "I've seen this in the sun. What's going on?"
Could you imagine if he'd gone, "Yeah, that's exactly what's happening"?
Imagine,
I know. Yeah.
You caught me out.
I mean, at least you know where you stand.
Damn it.
So
all I'm saying is they kind of obviously do like a little bit of a profile, George. So maybe I'll see you there next year.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, 2023.
I think you'd be a great bombshell.
Yeah.
You'd have to like give me some proper thick shoes. I know you're saying about Pete being small, but I'm quite small.
Yeah, you need some platforms. You need some of those like
Cubanos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
them in your swim shorts.
I'd take them off to go to sleep, and I'd be like, the camera would be like, "Oh shit."
Oh, babe, lads, it's been last minute talking to you in part 1. I can't wait to have you back in part 2. Hello everybody, and welcome back to part 2 of Vicky Pattison, The Secret 2. This week I am joined by the lovely Joe and George Bags. How are you, lads?
Hello. Very good, thank you.
Hey. I feel like it's super interesting, and you guys might just be like, "Well, this is normal for us," but like that, obviously Joe, you're gay, and George, you're straight, but like you are just mad close, aren't you?
Yeah. And it is, people find it weird. Like sometimes people think we're actually dating and stuff.
Oh no, that's absolutely it.
On TikTok, people are like, "Is that your boyfriend?" I'm like, "No, we have the same name. He's my brother." Like it's 5 years between us as well. So there's like a lot of differences.
Yeah. Joe's not, you're not like a massive difference in your life to me, but like Joe's got his own place. Like he's had good, like really good jobs and stuff. I'm like, I was on my first job before I started social media and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So we are very different, but also
We spend so much time together as well.
We get on so well.
You can tell how close you are. It's super lovely. Like me and my sister, there's 3 years apart, and often people don't even know I've got a sister. Like she is the polar opposite to me, like absolutely hates this industry. Like I remember when I went to the jungle and I was like, "Laura, I've got like 2 like plane tickets so I can take you and my mum, and you just get to stay in the Versace, and like they put you up for free, all your scran paid for. It's going to be absolutely class." And she was like, "No fucking way."
No way.
I was like, "No way." I was like, "Why?" She was like, "Oh, Vicky, it's so far. Like Australia's really far away." It's really far. And then also like when I get there, they're going to want us to talk and be on the telly. Like, no, it's not for me. Yeah. And I really respect Laura for that. Like so similar in loads of ways. We have a very similar sense of humor. Like she's me ride or die. But yeah, when it comes to the career paths we've chosen, couldn't be more different.
Yeah, no, I think.
And then sometimes that's like the best thing, isn't it? Like as you just said, you get on really well. Like just it's almost like as weird as it sounds, hear me out. It's like that relationship yin yang thing you said.
Yeah.
It's like with siblings and stuff. When you're so different, it kind of just brings you guys together.
Yeah.
That is like perfect. But you can't have always been this close. Like, what was it like when you grew up? Or did you ever fight over anything? Was there a reoccurring argument?
So not to sound so like soppy, right? We have always been like best mates.
You're
Like,
full of shit.
no, I'm
Right, tell them the truth.
no, being completely honest, we've never had any big arguments, anything like that. We've had like tiffs, like as you do when you're growing up, like he would always steal everything from my bedroom, like
Yeah, standard little brother behavior. Yeah.
Like I threw him. We were into like wrestling as kids, so I threw him into the radiator, and the radiator went through the wall in our house. I almost like knocked out the house. Little things like that, but
Or just small things.
it's never like not just the little things. But we've never like not spoken or anything like that.
Or if we haven't spoken, it's been like a day. We've messaged each other and been like, right, we're sorry. Do you know what I mean? One of them, and it hasn't even been over something big. It might just be over, I don't know. Like,
It's just over like trivial things. Isn't it?
there's nothing that's ever happened that we're like, right, we can't tell you this happened. Like, it's just never been like that.
Yeah.
But like, it's easy for us. Like, I do feel bad for people because a lot of people come up to us and they're like, your relationship's so nice. I wish I had that, because it's only ever been so.
Because a lot of siblings hate each other. Like when I speak to people, they're like, I hate my brother.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, in what way? They're like, we don't speak. Like, I hate him. I'm like, what? Like, it's to me, it's really weird. We've got a very close, like, small family, so I guess that's just how like we've always been.
I mean, obviously, I know there's circumstances, and God, like everybody's family is different than that. But whenever anybody tells me like, oh, none of my family speak to us or something like that, I'm always like, red flag.
When you look at it, you're like, something's going on here.
Yeah.
Someone's there in that family.
Yeah. Hang on, if they're all not speaking to you, I think I see a theme.
I think it's a problem.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's lovely that you're all really close. And I suppose I really want to ask a bit of an awkward question. Like, when you were about to come out, Joe, did you ever worry that that was going to alter the relationship, babe? Or George, on some level, did you always know? I don't know. I want to kind of get the history, babe.
Yeah, so I think from my side, I think everyone probably knew, but like, you know what it's like, especially in like a very like laddie family, because I've just got all brothers, and you know what I mean? And like,
is there more of you, by the way?
I've got an older brother called Danny as well.
Is Danny more like Laura?
He's the secret brother, yeah, kind of shies away.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's what the son called the secret brother.
Such a liberty.
I felt gutted for him, to be fair. He's sat there like,
he's claimed to fame.
you know, like Will and Jada have got that secret son, and everyone's always got that one. You know,
the Osborns have got one as well.
Yeah, it always happens. But yeah, like growing up, obviously, when I told everyone, I think I was about 15, and I think it did go through my head at the time, like George is at school, and you're like surrounded by a lot of like people, and it's obviously tough at school, and I worried like, what's it going to be like if he's like, oh, my brother's gay? Like, because you know what it's like, people will like throw slurs around like it's nothing. And then, you know, George, I didn't want George to be like ashamed, like, oh, I've got a gay brother, like, you know what I mean? That type of stereotype. But it didn't really change like anything. I think George kind of always knew. I mean, it was hard not to when every Christmas and birthday I get like Girls Aloud CDs and calendars and Mariah Carey, and do you know what I mean? Like, it was really hard not to, but yeah, I don't think that really changed anything. But there was, of course, that worry. Like, I always had that worry in my head. So
it was really when I went to like secondary school, and Joe was going to like a different school in the same area. Like, so he was at like sixth form at that point. It was about 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, 5,
I think. And yeah, like when I kind of first told my friends, they were like, there'd be jokes and stuff like that. But then once I actually met Joe, like if he picked me up from school and he was driving that and actually spoke to him, they're like, oh, because I think at a young age you have a perception, probably a lot,
which is terrible.
Yeah,
like let's put it out there, it's absolutely awful that people would like just base my entire personality off of the fact that I was gay, and then meet me and then go, oh, I actually think you're really nice. Say, George, like your brother's so lovely. And it's like, well, yeah, no, I was before.
Yeah. Don't sound so surprised. I'm just here as well.
Nothing's changed. And I would kind of get offended by it. Like, there was a couple of people at school that were really nice to me, and like, because I had a big girl group of friends, and some lads would then chat to me and be like, you know what, like, you've really changed my view. And I was like, well, that's really nice for me to know, but also, what the fuck were you thinking before? You know what I mean? Like, I'm glad that I changed your view, but also, why was that a thing?
It's like when people say they used to go like, ask our mum, come up to our mum and go, he's Joe. He's the guy. Like you can't say it. Or like he's got something wrong with him. You're like, yeah, he is. What's the problem? It's crazy.
But that's also, we moved into a town that's very small in Essex, and it's very old school.
Whereabouts are you? I'm in Essex too.
It's next to Stansted Airport. It's a town called Dunmow.
Okay. I'm not far from Stansted. We're neighbours.
Really?
Yeah, we're neighbours.
Not outpended.
Oh, don't. You still drink me under the table these days. I'm such a fanny. 3 wines and I'm anyone's, I swear. So you, small place, I get it, small town mentality sometimes.
Yeah,
right?
and then it was really weird for us to kind of enter into that because, yeah, as George said, like people did have that, like, you know, there was like, it was the only gay in the village type of thing. And it's like, honestly, like we've got like a family friend whose son's gay, and he actually messaged me like recently, and he was like, oh, like now me and you have moved out from the town. It's like, there's no one, do you know what I mean? Like there's no one left, we're the only two. It is really strange, but I guess that like, as we kind of grew up, left the town and like, you know, as George said, like went to new areas, went to school and stuff, it was easier, do you know what I mean? And I was actually quite fortunate that didn't have any
but
shit.
It never really even came up. Even when I was like 15 and Joe was in his like early 20s and stuff, whatever. At that age where I could have been like really immature, and that it never came up like we can do stuff or this happened, that's saying because he's gay. Like it's just my brother. Do you know what I mean? It never ever really came
He now
up.
comes to Freedom in Soho with me. He pulls more girls there than like any of the gays are pulling.
He's like we're going Freedom. I'm like, oh, what Freedom?
It's so funny. It's holes and everything.
I love that. You guys are so close, and I love that. Like, sort of, I don't know. I just feel like you were always just super accepting of who your brother was, and vice versa. You're very accepting of who George is. It's the only way to be, mate. But you know, I think everyone who has preconceived notions about like a stereotype of what a gay, they just haven't met enough gay people.
I know.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
But yeah, a lot of people who are narrow-minded like that and stuff have probably bumped into or saw 2 gay guys kissing in the street or something, and that's their only perception.
Or on the TV or something.
Yeah, you've seen someone gay who's wearing makeup or nail varnish or whatever, and that's their whole perception. It's like everyone's like that.
I agree. And then once you meet someone, you're like, oh, you're actually lovely. It's like, it's a real shame that you thought that before, but at least people are learning.
The thing is, though, there's people that don't know Joe's gay either. Like,
oh my God, this is funny.
Do you get a lot of young lasses fancying you, babe? Because I can imagine that, you know, you've got like boy band vibes. You are giving me like 1D.
Basically, like, I did have that a lot when we started off. And I think like we got like 500,000 followers on TikTok. And then I went to a pride party and people were acting like I'd come out again. So like, I kid you not, I was flooded with messages, Instagram, TikTok, so proud of you, so nice you're finally living your truth. I was like, I've been gay for about 10 years now. And I'm thinking, what is going on? It was so weird for me because I felt like I was like, do I reply to these people? Do I be like, thank you? It was really strange. It was really funny though.
So are you a big, obviously you're loud, proud and out. Are you a big advocate for Pride Month? You must.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You love it.
100%. Anything that I can like go to, like show my face at, do you know what I mean? Like support. Yeah, I'm hugely into it, and I normally go to like every single Pride event as well. And like one festival that I love is Hoopla every year.
Oh, mate, I saw you choosing your outfits for it. I actually liked the like cut off, like blacky, like sort of shorts, you know, the denim ones, and then the cut off like tie-dye top. I thought you looked great.
You know what? I like that. Mum, I had to keep cutting
She's a savage, by the way, your ma.
I know. I kept going, Mum, you've got like, I was like, you've got like one, because I'm fucking going tomorrow. I was like, and I've got no outfits. And like, I put the camera on and she'd be like, nah, don't like it, your midriff. I'm just going upstairs, sat in my room like.
Oh, babe, honestly, I love the relationship with your mum as well, though.
Oh, she's amazing. She is one of the funniest people. And we're also so close to her, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they recently went away, my mum and dad, and George was staying with me, just to keep him company and that, do you know what I mean?
Just keep him out of trouble by the sounds of things.
We'd text each other every time, we miss you so much. You know what I mean? It was so funny. Most people like, Mum, leave me alone, don't talk to you, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's enough.
Bless you. And she's obviously super supportive of not only your sexuality, but your drag and everything as well, babe.
I
I see her
know.
helping you pick your outfits for that.
She loves that. It's so funny. And
It's
like,
'cause she says it's like the daughter she's never had. So
Yeah.
Joe's like best of both worlds, you know what
and
I
I
mean?
ordered a dress, and then she was like, she tried it on and was like, I can actually wear this to a wedding after you've worn this. And I was like, go for it.
She's living the dream, babe. Honestly, that is what Kaza does. Like, she comes to my house with one case and she leaves with two. The sneaky cow. Loves it, Carol. So hang on, tell me a little bit about your drag act. Is it designer bags? Have I got that right?
So basically, I dressed up for Halloween last year and wanted to go with all my friends going as like Scooby-Doo theme. So I was like, I'm gonna go as Daphne. And then I did it, and it was such a laugh. Like, I had
Love Daphne, she's an icon.
isn't she? Like,
Icon.
especially the actual like, what's it called? Not the cartoon, like the actual film of Scooby-Doo.
Oh, Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yes. Amazing, like absolutely amazing. So yeah, I dressed up and I had such a fun time. And also I think like where we were on Gogglebox and a lot of people like knew me at the time, I was getting anxiety about going out and getting drunk because I was like, you know, you don't want to make a fool of yourself. People like, wait, isn't he blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it was so nice to go out and drag and no one gave a shit. No one knew who I was. No one cared. Like,
guys.
and it was fun, and it was so fun. So then I've done it like a few times since, and I've had such a laugh. Like, I went to this club and Gogglebox was there, and I was like partying along with him, like flicking my hair about, having like so much fun. And so yeah, it's like a really nice, like cathartic thing to do when you just want to go out, like let your hair down, and you know what I mean, like kind of not be yourself in a
Like
way.
an alter ego.
Literally, and everyone's got one, but like it's drag's a really nice way of like putting that into a medium. Do you know what I mean? To be able to like do it.
It's so, and I just want to commend you for this in a way that I hope doesn't sound fucking patronizing, but I just think it's really beautiful that you are living like your authentic life and being unapologetically yourself across all these different platforms and showing like young lads, probably from towns very similar to the one you grew up in, like it's not only just okay to be yourself, but it's absolutely fucking beautiful.
Yeah, and it was terrifying because of the audience that we have. The first time that I posted video in drag, I was terrified. Like I didn't want to post it. I was, and then like, there was
babes, I love you.
have to do this because like you have to show people, and then like there was a lot of really positive comments. Like it's really nice that you're being yourself, and like I feel like,
and then it was one of the official videos under the hashtag.
Yeah, and then I actually
really
made it. The video got pinned to the drag hashtag on TikTok, which was amazing for me.
I don't understand enough about TikTok, but even I know that sounds pretty fucking impressive.
It was amazing, and so like then I had this relief of like, no, like it's fine. But I think everyone, especially content creators, sometimes if you do something out of the box, you're like panicking, like, oh god, like how's this going to be received? You know what I mean?
And you probably know as well, Vic,
Yeah.
like the internet's just, it can be a very scary place.
Yeah,
Do you know-
exactly.
do you know what I mean? You probably know that like harder than us. Like it's just there's so many people you don't even comprehend how many people see stuff.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I'm just like in my TikToks in its like infancy. Like I've completely been peer pressured into getting it. Like in lockdown when you were smashing it, I was like, I'm fucking too old for this. There's no way you're gonna catch me dancing on TikTok with me fella. And I was adamant as well. And then now, of course, like like everything, I've been late to all of the trends. I didn't want to join Twitter. I didn't want to join Instagram. Who's going to want to hear what I've got to say? Who's going to want to see my pictures? And of course, like you've got no choice. Like you eventually, like it consumes us all. So yeah, so I'm on it now, and I am like I love following you lads because I just think like you are so funny and so relatable, and it's so lovely to see something that kind of gives you that release and escapism from every day, which can be a little bit tough and a little bit mundane. So no, I love what you're doing. I try and like copy. I'm like, oh no, I'm going to be really funny and cute now as well.
No, I don't blame you. It is a really fun thing. And like, I always think like, if you can just make someone laugh, or like we get a lot of comments like I've had a shit day and this really cheered me up, and like that makes me happy because obviously like we both have shit days, you know what I mean? And that's why we go on there as well. So it's really nice to kind of have that, you know what I mean, in that platform.
It's lush. Keep doing what you're doing, lads. I'm a huge fan. Cringe. Oh, Vic. Right, before I let you go, I'm like desperate to play. It's sort of like a brotherly game of Mr. and Mrs. I don't want to blur the lines and be one of those people who asks if you're together. Well, I know you're not. I have got, but I want to know this answers to these questions, okay? And see who knows each other better. That's it. Are you competitive?
Okay. Yeah. Very.
Oh shit.
Very.
Okay. Oh god. Oh my god. I'm very nervous now.
Anyway.
Go on. Right. First question. Right. Do you know each other's shoe sizes?
Yes.
Go on then, tell us them. No cheating.
Joe's is a 9 to 9.5.
Are you Joe?
Yeah.
I think even I knew that after seeing you trying on them shoes. I'm sure you mentioned that on your TikTok. So I think I knew that.
And heels.
Yeah. Oh, they're awful. Go on then.
Eight.
I am.
Woo! That is a point apiece, lads. Well done. Oh, neck and neck. Okay, second question. When did you lose your virginity? Do you know the answer?
What's that?
Okay, do you know?
All right.
He knows.
Right. So, George is never pending.
George, you're not listening? No, fuck. George, stop it. Don't fuck off.
We're not lying. We're not lying. We're not wrong. No.
Hang on, George, you haven't lost your virginity? No. Hang on. I feel like right. I can't work this out.
This is hysterical. No, he hasn't.
No,
He hasn't.
So no, you're full of shit.
No, I'm not.
George,
I wish I was
like. For
So
real.
hang on, you're a virgin?
Yes.
Oh my God. Well, you're very handsome.
Thank you.
Oh, and you're so nice.
Oh,
no,
thanks.
no.
I know what's going on. That's why earlier I was dropping the old anyone with the pulse. You know what I mean?
Oh, babe.
I'm talking anyone. Yeah.
I had no idea I was opening this can of worms. I just thought you were going to say like, yeah, Mally at 12. But this is, right, well, good for you for waiting.
Yeah, look, it's just, it's what it is, isn't it? Like, it hasn't happened. I never wanted a girlfriend during school and that. I wanted to get school out of the way, blah, blah. And then now I'm in this, as I said to you earlier, this line of work. It's just hard to like.
No, I mean, it's not hard.
It's
I
not
was trying to say, I can't imagine it's hard to find someone in.
Hey, I'm being picky. All right,
He's being picky.
Excuse me, you're allowed to be picky. You're a lovely bit of kit. You've got a nice family. You've got a great future ahead of you. If you want to be picky, son, be picky.
Thanks.
You're so welcome. You are literally like, after this podcast, going to be the most famous virgin since Britney Spears. Do you remember when she was acting like she was the virgin and all?
I genuinely think that like that is going to be the thing, and I'm thinking like when he loses it, like we have a party, like
Oh yeah, like a big ceremony.
yeah.
Like Queen's Jubilee.
Oh, damn.
Okay, what about Jordan?
Yours was like 18.
Yeah, it was.
So you're going to say also a virgin. I was going to be like, this game is over.
Yeah, bang,
This game's
zero.
over. Yeah, no, George. Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, so still then points apiece. Well done, lads. Oh, you're doing really well. The brotherly love here is very strong. Okay, who's your mum's favourite?
Yo, I would say me.
You
Well,
say
because-
bad one.
yeah.
Just they're constantly like, Joe's just a really mummy's boy.
I've always been this sensitive mummy's boy. Like
Yeah.
anything, like even when when you're like in a drunken state and you
Yeah.
like need to get home and stuff, like I'll always be like, I need my mum. Do you know what I mean?
My Laura's the same. Like we'd go on like a last weekend to like Dublin for 2 nights, and like halfway through night 1, she'd be, I just really miss me mum. I'd be like, right, fucking go on.
I've always been like, George's bit always been like dad's like lads like let's go, do you know what I mean, like watch football, like all that stuff, go to car meets and stuff, and I've always been like let's watch Sex and the City and drink gin, do you know what I mean? So
Well, yeah, come on, like it was really difficult for anyone else to be the favourite, babe, if you're giving her all that, you know.
Exactly.
Right was on the wall. You didn't stand a chance,
I got legs
quite
down.
frankly. Okay, what's the biggest lie each of you have told? Do you know?
Oh, that's a well hard one. Your biggest lie. I don't know. What's the biggest lie? I'd like to think that we're quite honest, but this might tell us otherwise.
I'm just that's a hard, I don't know. What lies have you told? Have you told anyone that you're not a virgin? No. I think you have, yeah.
I mean, the jig is definitely up after this. If you've told anyone, you're a proper top tracker.
Yeah, that's probably mine. I don't know what yours would be. Maybe telling people you're straight. You've done it before. You've walked into shops and stuff, haven't you? You've been like,
Oh no,
yeah,
sometimes.
Oh, okay.
I revert back depending on like the situation. So like the other day, I had this call with this company about some ad, and I picked up the phone in front of George, and I was like, "Excuse me, yeah, you're right, mate. How's it going? Yeah, no, yeah, I'll post that then. Yeah. And I'm like, have a nice weekend, mate. Yeah, you doing anything nice? All of that.
I allowed the missus.
Yeah, as a missus. Yeah, like I just sometimes it happens. It just slips out. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, well, okay. I feel like they're both like not really bad lies, but you've definitely both still got another 2 points. This is very annoying. Right, next one. What's each other's worst habit?
Probably the way you fart.
See, I was going to say that for you. He was awful last night. Like, he has the worst habit you have is like no concept of like where you are or what you're doing when you pass gas. Like, there will be like a whole family of 4 eating in a restaurant. You'll be like, like it's awful.
I'd say you're fighting as well though. Or like picking your toenails because your toenails are grim. Or just like he's just got horrible toenails.
I hate feet and my own feet. I'm just not a feet person.
Is it the heels, babe? Because my feet are horrible from cramming them in heels.
I went to a bloody chiropodist, and is that what it is? He had a whale of a time. He absolutely had a field day. He loved it. I was
Christmas.
Oh my god, best day of my life. Honestly, I left and thought I was walking on clouds. You should have seen me walking. It's like Bambi on ice. I'd say that was right. Oh my god, look at us. We can't. It's going to be hard to catch us out. 2 peas in a pod. Okay, right. Next question. What is each other's biggest fear?
Oh, I know yours. If you say this isn't right, it's a lie. Joe's is birds. Yes, Joe hates birds.
As in women or as in pigeons?
Both. Yeah, honestly. Yeah, in both senses, yes. I'd say like my worst fear is like if someone, I know this sounds like a really irrational fear, but if someone was like, here's a human-sized bird cage and we're going to fill it with birds and like cover you in seed, I would probably like die.
So like the bird woman in what you call the Home Alone. That's
absolutely perfect. Oh, I'm trying to think of yours.
Oh God, could this be the deciding point? Because it's the last question. I'm sweating behind my knees.
You're not really scared of much.
I'm just so macho, ain't I? I want to say like sex. Wrong. Right, actually, because there's no track record yet.
Oh, babe, Fanny's not that bad.
Mine is probably spiders.
Yeah, you do scream a lot. Or that or hot trays.
Oh, I don't have a fear of hot trays. I just seem to touch them when they're boiling and then scream. Like.
Oh, honestly, I'm terrible for it. I'm so clumsy and I'm always in such a rush. I always burn myself when I'm cooking. I had some horrible injuries on MasterChef.
Oh God! Another one.
Hi lads, honestly, she doesn't fucking stop. She's got a mortgage to pay for. Well, do you know what? I hate to say it, but George, you've just beat Joe to the post. You've pipped him right there, last moment. You know him better. But honestly, lads, that was a seriously close race. You are quite clearly very best friends and the best of brothers, which actually brings me on to the last little thing I need from you. Here at Vicky, Pattison and Secret 2, we always ask our gorgeous guests to give our lovely listeners a kind of pearl of wisdom. And you are just so close and lovely. It's quite frankly sickening. Yeah.
I was about to say that is thickly, isn't it?
It's horrible.
Fucking disgusting. But no, it is lush. And I just wanted to know what you guys think your secret is to brotherly love.
Tolerance.
Yeah, patience, tolerance.
All right, lads, it's not the Bible.
Yeah, let me get my scroll.
I think, I just think that, I would say listening, but we don't do that.
No, we don't.
Clearly, though, you're paying attention because you got all those questions right. So
yeah, I just think it's a matter of like respecting each other in terms of like boundaries. And like also just having a laugh. Like our whole philosophy of everything is to just always have a laugh. Like even with now like this career path, it's like we don't want to do something unless we're laughing and enjoying it and having fun.
Having a smile on your face is just one of the best things. Like,
yeah,
that's how what we live by. Like I feel like that's how we just get on so well. We're always laughing. That's why if we ever go to argue, in the end we just laugh it off.
And we have like triggers of what make each other laugh. Like yesterday we were filming a video and one of the questions was like, make like Joe laugh. And I just knew straight away like what he could do to hit me over the edge. And I think like that's a really nice thing to being close to. Definitely.
And also I think like, you were talking about respect, like kind of respecting your differences too, right?
Yeah, of course. Like, that's what I mean. I don't like some stuff that Joe likes. Joe don't like stuff that I do. But look, sometimes I sit through and watch that, or we go to somewhere that Joe wanted to go. Joe comes to where I wanted to go. It's just about that, like,
just forcing stuff on each other, but you're respectfully being like, George, like, come to this football game. I'll be like, look, if we're gonna have a laugh and spend time with each other, same. But I was like, do you want to watch an episode of Drag Race? It's the same thing. You're like respected, but I'd never say every night like you're watching this.
It's like an example's like next week, isn't it? There's like is it the Pride Parade?
Oh, no,
don't act like you're going to that, like, out the goodness of your heart. We all know you're going to Paul, George.
Oh, yeah. He actually did say earlier, he's like, I'm going to put her at Pride. I was like, that is not the point of it, George.
You're ruining Pride, George.
But yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, Joe said to me the other day, he was like, I'm going, like, it'd be really nice if you come out. I was like, you know what, let's do it. Why not be like,
you guys are so cute. I love you so much. No, honestly, lads, thank you so much for taking time out your busy schedules to do this. I can't wait to see what you do next. No doubt it'll be beautiful and brilliant, just like you two.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
Really appreciate it.
You're so welcome.